just get my stuff.
Thank you.
What made you decide to run? Did you wake up one day and decide to do an
It wasn't quite that easy. I had done most of what I wanted to do in the business world. I had a very good career at Edison.
Right.
I was approaching 59 years old, and I said, you know, I started my career in public service, and I wanted to go back to public service. I looked around, and I've lived at the time I lived in Long Beach about 12 years. I really loved this place, and I felt that I could use some of my experience and my skills to make it better. And the more I thought about it, the more attractive it became. It's a position more suited to my temperament and my talents. I thought about other people asking me if I'd run for the legislature or run for Congress, and I really don't have any desire to do that. I really like to be able to see the results of your efforts and your labors kind of right in front of me.
Right.
So a bunch of friends urged me to run, and a bunch of people talked to me, and the more I thought about it, I said, you know, I think this is an important thing to do.
Do you view the city differently now than you did then?
I know more about it. I mean, I'll
compared to being a resident and now in office.
When you're a resident, you tend to be isolated in areas. You know, you spend most of your time on the east side of town if you live there. I mean, I knew other areas of the city, and I knew it, I think, fairly well, but I know it very well now. And so I do look at it differently. I understand the needs more, and I can see where there are disparities that have to be corrected. You know, it's one of the things about this infrastructure issue. If you look at it as a whole city, one city, you really have to fix things in a variety of areas. So, yeah, I do look at it differently, only in the sense that I'm more aware of the needs, and I'm more aware of some of the things that really have to get done pretty quickly.
Talking about the infrastructure bond, you've emphasized that you've emphasized thinking of Long Beach as one city rather than district by district.
Right.
Do you get the sense that this bond would help everyone equally?
No, it would not help everyone equally. It's based on need. So it's going to be applied where we have the greatest need for streets, for sidewalks, greatest needs for, it will benefit everybody.
Right.
The goal is not to benefit everybody equally. The goal is to get the job done.
Right.
So if we retreat into my district has to get the same amount as the other district, that has nothing to do with need. You can look across the city, for example, on streets. There's a very acute need in some council districts, and a need, but a lesser need in others. I think you have to look at it that way. I think you have to look at, we're trying to fix things where they need to be fixed without regard to some artificial geographic boundary. Now, that said, every part of the city gets major investment. Every part of the city will get substantial benefit.
No, I was just wondering if you, as the mayor of Long Beach, have an opinion about the breakwater. I mean, we
just talked about it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's right. No, I do. I think it's worthwhile doing an analysis and a study of whether or not the breakwater can be safely modified in a way that would improve water quality and improve recreation. We don't know that. Nobody wants to put any property at risk. And I live in Naples, and I know people on the peninsula are very concerned about that. But we have a water quality problem, and we have a great stretch of beach that doesn't really have any way back. Having said that, it's going to take years and years to get that done, and that doesn't even get. If you could do it, you could get a modification that would improve water quality and improve recreation. It might take many millions of dollars for all the breakwater. So I know it's a hot topic, and people talk about it all the time. It's just realistically, it's not something that realistically probably is ever going to come to any fruition. It might take years, but I think it's important to at least begin the process to study it. There's nothing wrong with getting information, getting a modeling of the breakwater done to see if it would improve things. That's what we are.
This isn't something that the city would be doing, right? I mean, they can't take the breakwater out.
I think it would be almost, no, it's owned by the federal government. Corps of Engineers has jurisdiction over it. We could not do it ourselves, and my guess is we could never afford it ourselves. I think the Corps of Engineers would have to get an appropriation from Congress if there were ever any modification to do that modification. It's beyond our capability of doing it.
makes a decision, would the people of Long Beach have anything to say?
Sure they would. It would be an appropriations that goes through Congress. You'd have hearings on it. We have representatives that would be involved. We would be involved all the way. I don't think the Corps is really going to do anything where you don't have at least discussions and involvement of people that are affected by it. So, but it's a long way off. It really is not something that's and we don't know. We just don't have information. I mean, I can't tell you with any certainty whether it would help or hurt in terms of water quality. Obviously, you would get better recreation if you had waves, but we don't know what it would do. We don't know whether it would help water quality. There are more direct water quality issues we have to do with solving our issues upstream. Other cities dumping bacterial content into the river. But we're going to try to even do something about that because I can't rely on other cities really doing what they should do.
Right. We all know we go to Suncut Beach after
After a storm, that's right. And I think we can, the waves aren't going to solve that problem because all you're going to is take garbage from one place to another. We're going to have to limit the trash and we're going to have to be able to collect it before it gets down here. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
It'd be like for $6, you can go any of the museums in LA and Orange County.
Learn something new every day.
Pretty good deal, yeah. That's a really good deal. They go all over the place. Really cute. Look at them.
How do you think people outside the city view the city?
That's an interesting question. You know, most people don't know that Long Beach is as large as it is. Most people don't know that you kind of live. I think the view of most people, you sort of live in the shadow of Los Angeles. You've got this huge 4 million population city by you, and they have no idea that this is probably by now more than 500,000 people. A lot of them still think of it as a Navy town, and don't understand and don't appreciate the changes that have taken place here. And it's just the way it is. I think the more we get, the more tourism catches on here, and it's been doing very well over the last several years. I think the more people will start getting a different view of the city.